So, have you experienced any type of odyssey of the mind, type of experience where maybe your kids competed in any type of odyssey of the mind competitions or anything in schools at some point in time? Have you ever had that type of experience? None? None of that? An example of one of our Rex Academy teachers who actually teaches one of the classes with our students in one of our kinder grade bands, and how they moved that day. And each one of them, and we told them, the whole team, because we made them understand that it was a team approach. And they could not pick him up until each one of them mastered the skill of something that has happened or occurs in your district. And the reason for my asking is that we want to be able to know, experience, or understand if these things are happening in your district. Because if we are aware, or if we're not aware, we want to be able to know that these things are happening with our students, so that we can understand what needs to be happening in our district, so that our kids are having the right type of exposure to get them ready or to be prepared necessarily for what needs to happen across the board for our kids. Are we really getting them ready for what they need to be able to know and understand as AI is approaching, or is right here in our doorstep, is the point, okay? So, as a 26-year educator, currently my role is Executive Director for Retention and Recruitment, and I also am the same for Human Resources for the Pinebluff School District. I was asked to write a 21st Century Grant District and to direct that program as well, largely because as Pinebluff has gone through a lot of turbulence, academically speaking, and leadership changes, the 21st Century program was asked to be written because we wanted to address some of the academic challenges in our district, and me being asked to write that program for 2 schools in our district, I did that. And as we were awarded that program, it currently serves 2 schools in our district, and one of the things that we wanted to do was we wanted to make sure that our kids were getting the right exposure, and largely to expose them to some of the things that they would not rightfully get the exposure to as other students across the state of Arkansas would have been exposed to. And so computer programming was one of the things that we wanted to give them some exposure to. And so this is how we were introduced to Rex Academy. And there were 3 things that we wanted until 6:15 every day. And across the board, in 1 year, my school increased. Every cohort increased throughout, in 1 year, every cohort increased. And so the test scores showed every grade band increased. I had one group of students, I believe it was my kinders, not my kinders, but my second grade group, stayed flat, and we knew what that group did. But if you notice, the increase in the test scores, reading and math, across the board. If you look at kinder, we had 7-point increase in reading and math. We had a 12-point increase. And mind you, this was between 2 schools, because I bused one school into another school, and we had 2 schools that were actually 21st century school. And my first grade students, I had a 9% increase in reading, and in math I had a 4% increase. My second grade cohort, I believe this was my math group that showed no increase here. But my reading was a 2% increase, and my math stayed the same. My 4th grade students, look at the next slide here. Yes, my 4th grade students, 4% increase in reading. Math was a 3% increase. My 5th grade group, 16-point increase in math. We increased by 3 points there. And then my 6th grade cohort was a 14% increase and 25% in math. And so when I look at my program altogether, what we learned doing this computer program in my 21st century program, it exposed my kindergarten students earlier on, and they were able to learn programming at a very early age. And so they understood problem solving. They understood how to they understood how to code. They understood how to really manipulate the computer in ways that they would not have understood. And then my discipline, actually, it helped them to actually code, you know, so it helped them across the board in a lot of ways. And so the importance for our program across the board, our teachers were able to have the right conversations, working as a team. It transformed the culture of my school, you know, and so as a result of that, our program was selected as only 2 in the country for 21st century schools from the federal government. This was not the Department of Education on the state side. This was a federal selection where they selected our program, you know, as one of the implemented schools, you know, for using best practices. So we will be featured on the landing page for the federal government's 21st century programs. So we're excited about that. And I'm excited that we will be featured from July to October on the federal government's landing page. And, you know, I do know that when you provide students, you know, with an opportunity, you know, that they would not necessarily have, you know, in other situations, it gives them a sense of confidence that they would not, you know, otherwise have. So we're excited to know that and to have that opportunity for our students. And we're creating other opportunities for them, you know, so this opportunity to have computer sciences in our school, you know, for our students, you know, that was once low achieving, you know, in this area, you know, computer sciences did that for our kids. So we're excited about that. So the 5 principles provide some type of consultant support, ancillary maybe, for the district. That's what I was thinking. I wanted to ask, if you perhaps at some point have children that are still school age, and your children have maybe had some type of in their schools, maybe your children have worked beyond the computer. Let's say that your children may take some type of class where they're on the computers in their classes, and the teachers, their curriculum is requiring them to work on the computer. Okay? How many of you have worked with your children on the computer doing some type of lesson? Okay. If you're like me, you probably still got school-age kids, you probably started late, or all